Are you crazy? Or are you just mad?
Hello, 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 hello! And welcome to the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where we discuss the latest news, research, and hot topics surrounding mental health. I'm Thomas Maher, and I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, award-winning singer, songwriter, and presenter, Indiraa.
Hello, hello, hello.
Indiraa, how wonderful it is to have you on the show. And this is our inaugural show, episode 1, season 1 of Musicians Against Depression Mad Pod podcast.
And many more to come.
Yes. So I don't know about you, but I'm feeling excited to do the first show. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, and the topic itself is making me even more excited about everything.
Great, and we have some very, very apt and exciting topics today. Just obviously to run through, obviously the first show, we're going to be talking about everything related to mental health. We're going to have 2 podcasts, this is our plan is to have 2 podcasts per week, once on a Wednesday and a Sunday. And our hot topics, because obviously we've got a band that plays live for mental health awareness, and that's called Hot Topic. So we're calling it Hot Topic with CK. And our hot topics are going to be mental health, and we're going to pick once a week one off topic. Now, I know, like myself, a lot of my friends that I speak to who suffer from depression or anxiety, they've got an interest in ufology. I've got a wonderful interest in ufology. I love it. And so is my beautiful co-host, Indiraa.
Absolutely.
We're big believers, though we haven't seen that one yet or met
it's
any aliens.
It's not alien to us, that's for
it's
sure.
It's not alien, that's correct. That's for sure. So that is going to be our once weekly off topic. So we're going to do that. So without further ado, I am going to open the show with actually one of the topics of today. It's just the latest research today. I'm just looking at it here now. And the headline is Genetic Switch That Controls Anxiety Discovered in Groundbreaking Medical Research. And that's from the Maher. So I'm just going to open that up. And so I'm going to talk through that. I read it earlier and it's a very, very interesting story. Okay, so here we go. Okay. University of Aberdeen team found a section of DNA which switches on key genes in part of the brain that affect anxiety levels in mice. Now, that may not make sense to you, but mice and human beings are very closely related, so that's why they conduct research on mice. So, researchers have found a genetic switch that can control anxiety, according to a team from the University of Aberdeen. They discovered a section of DNA which switches on key genes in parts of the brain that affect anxiety levels in mice. When this switch was removed, the mice became more anxious. The team hopes that further research into this switch could help improve the lives of people with anxiety by identifying a new target for medication. Professor Alistair Mackenzie from university explained, We already know that 95% of the genetic differences associated with disease are found outside of protein coding genes. He added that this part of the genome, known as non-coding genome, hasn't been well explored because we previously lacked the tools to do so. Interesting. So, he continued, we also know that the non-coding genome contains information in the form of gene switches that tells the genes where and when to be turned on. This is important because genes need to be switched on in the right cells and at the right times to ensure good health. If they are not turned on correctly, it can contribute to conditions like anxiety, depression, and addiction. These areas of the non-coding genome are what we study in our lab. Both humans and mice have similar mechanisms controlling mood, and the researchers believe the switch they discovered is part of these mechanisms in both species. Professor Mackenzie's team noticed that many of these switches have stayed almost the same for hundreds of millions of years. You heard that correctly. Hundreds of millions of years. Well, that's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that what you think?
Absolutely.
Hundreds of millions of years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Right. So mice have been depressed and suffering from anxiety for millions of years.
And we're so similar because we both like cheese.
Yes, that's right. Just be careful not to get caught in the trap. Okay. The study used CRISPR genome editing technology. He said, our unique approach is to use CRISPR to delete these conserved switches from the mice and then study their role in mood, food intake, and preference for alcohol. God, they're giving the mice alcohol.
Oh my goodness me.
That's why you see them falling around all over the place, especially late at night. By using the CRISPR technology to remove specific areas in the genome, the team focused on the enhancer called BE5.1, sounds like a bomber, that controls the BDNF gene.
That is very...
Sounds like they've been to a rave, doesn't it? They discovered that removing BE5.1 was linked with an increase in levels of anxiety in female mice. Researchers said this suggests BE5.1 is part of the complex genome machinery in the brain that modulates anxiety.
I could do with some of that.
Yeah, we need to go on these trials, right? You got a tale we can use? I can borrow from you?
Yeah, definitely. Tale of two cities. Yeah.
Two stories. Dr. Andrew McEwen, also from the university, said, to understand the basis of complex human diseases, that includes mental illness and other conditions, such as obesity, depression and addiction, it is as important to understand the mechanisms that ensure proper production of proteins in the right cells as it is to understand the proteins themselves. This will only be achieved if we better understand the non-coding genome in health and disease and the function and role of the thousands of enigmatic gene switches that lurk in its depths. The study, which was published in Molecular Psychiatry, received funding from the Biotechnology and Biological Sciences Research Council, Tenovias, Scotland, GHI, the Medical Research Charity and Medical Research Scotland. And that is it. That's the end of that article. Well, that was quite interesting, wasn't it?
Well, definitely.
So we have mice that have been researched at the moment.
Addiction?
For addiction, alcohol addiction, some from depression and anxiety, and which they've had for millions of years. So I think it's about time that they, this switch is switched off.
Yeah, the thing is, it's I can actually say, like, obesity as well. All three are something everybody was at some stage, whether it's the one end of the spectrum or not. I know I suffer from mental health, as you know, and depression, and I've had battles with addiction, and I yo-yoed from being positively overweight to being positively underweight, and after years and years, now I'm in a perfect place according to my weight, but depression-wise, no. So it catches all of us somewhere along
depression
the line.
Is one of those things, like for many people, once you suffer from depression, it's kind of with you for life. It's kind of that black dog it's there, but you don't want it to be there, but it's always there. That's why they call it black dog depression. So for many people, that's true. Once you get depression, once it kind of never leaves you.
It's like an old friend of yours, and it's an old friend you don't like, and you think to yourself, okay, I've tried this and it hasn't really worked, but I'm so optimistic because this and this is coming up, and I've heard wonderful things about another medication or another program. And it's the switch to start on new medication and so on and so forth is so difficult because side effects are always the thing in the small print. It's very, exactly. It's never, it's adjusting from one to another. And then when you just settle into it, you realize it's actually not working.
Mm-hmm.
And it was working initially because it was a new drug, or it was stimulating somewhere along the line. Then your body got used to it, your brain got used to it, and bang again, you're back in at square one. And you think, okay, there's something else coming out in the market. So where does this actually take you? And I've suffered, as you know, with addiction as well. And you're never free, like they always say, one day at a time. You're never free of all these things. It's you have to thank your lucky stars every time you are you're free of everything. But you also have to keep reminding yourself that every day is a battle with all these things once you suffer from.
Indeed. But here you are talking about it. So obviously something's worked, where it's a combination of the medications, therapies, and, your mind, your mental progress over time. You're here to talk about these things. And obviously later on in the later episodes, we'll go in more in depth to your own background, how you've obviously experienced depression and anxiety and
there's a lot
your
out
addictions.
there.
And
there's a lot of
how you coped
help.
with it. There is a lot of hope, absolutely. And every day there's new research, there's groundbreaking research. And this is just one I happen to pick up today. But there's a lot of good, really, really positive steps.
Well, all the
they've
stuff
taken.
I've read of yours in the past, and I've been following for ages, as you know. You've come up with some amazing articles, amazing research, and it's all out there. We just have to tap into it.
That help is definitely out there, absolutely. And one of I always say one of the first steps you've got to take for getting help is actually to speak out, talk up. That's the first way, because the help is out there. So you have picked an article.
Oh, I have.
To go through today. A very interesting one, actually.
Oh, I am just going to pull that one up. Yeah, it's top 50 pieces of advice women would give their younger selves.
So women, particularly for you, listening carefully.
What would you tell your younger self? Be more confident, look after your physical health, learn to say no, are among the top 50 things women would wish to go back and tell themselves. A survey of 2,000 females found that other key advice included stop caring what other people think, don't waste your time with negative people, and don't let opportunities pass you by. And health was a prominent theme, including to make sure you understand your own body, look after your mental health, and consume treat foods and drinks in moderation. But it wasn't all serious, as women would also advise their younger selves to go on all the holidays you possibly can. What do you think of that?
Wow. It's great advice.
And take a lot of photos, not selfies maybe, but...
No Photoshop?
No Photoshop. And leave your eyebrows alone. Oh gosh, I wish someone had told me to leave my eyebrows alone. But never mind. Other pearls of wisdom, including prioritize friends over romantic partners. Now that is a good one. Because most of your friends are still around. They'll be around a lot longer. Be yourself.
Good advice.
And that if something needs to be a secret, it's probably not a good idea.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. We never think about that.
That's true.
I'm sure we've all got things we'd love to be able to go back and tell our younger selves. Now we have lived through it and we've come out the other side. It's easy to look back and think about how you would have done things a little bit differently. Life is all about learning from experience. But empowering women to share that knowledge, experience with younger generations is key. Women should support women to give their health and well-being a boost as much as possible. A study also found 55% of women admitted there's nothing they'd like more than to go back and pass advice on to their younger selves. But quarter admitted they probably wouldn't listen to them. Well, women never listen, just so you know.
I agree.
See, men listen. They agree.
I'm listening here. I'm intently listening.
And they agree. That's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We've learned that. Like mice, we've learned these things over millions of years.
However, there were some generational differences in advice they would pass on, with older women more likely to tell younger them to pay attention into pension, learning from mistakes, and have a healthy diet. Yeah, those are things you don't think about until it's too late, huh? The pension bit and all that. But 22% of all women admitted health, nutrition-related tips would be a priority to pass on to early versions of themselves. It also emerged that 52% sought advice from others when they were younger, with parents seen as the best source of help. Oh gosh, I never went to my parents, followed by grandparents. Definitely not my grandparents. And my best friends, I had numerous of those, but they kept changing. It works both ways, though, as 19% have also given advice to an older person, and they went to take it. Wow. Meanwhile, 88% think it's important for women to help and support each other as much as possible. That's true. The research carried out via one poll also revealed 46% feel January is the greatest time to reflect on advice they've received and act on it. This is true. January is always a good start.
It is.
Health and fitness, all the gyms start getting full, right?
It's the month for new resolutions.
Yep. And most common areas to reflect upon is health and fitness in the new year, along with finances, diet and nutrition. Yeah, we all start diets in January. And your appearance. Yeah, I always tell myself I'm going to be more attentive. The spokesman for Vitabiotics, Well Women, added, you often receive advice and tips, but sometimes it's only later on that you look back, reflect, and wish you had taken it on board. But last year is a great time to do this. The new year is a great time to do this and reevaluate things and make your health, your well-being a priority. Now, 50 things you'd like to tell your young selves. Be more confident. Do you agree on that one?
Definitely.
Stop caring what other people think.
So basically, in brackets, don't give one.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, the problem is at a teen stage of your life, you do care what other people think, and it takes up and consumes a lot, which can lead to other problems, but that's another story. Learn to love and accept yourself. That's a tough one. Learn to say no. I need to go to college to learn to say no or get a degree in it because I really can't say no.
Did it teach you that in college? Say no?
No.
No, there you go. You went to the right college.
I did. Don't waste your time with negative people. Why am I here exactly? Have faith in yourself. God.
That's what George Michael said.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, you got to have faith. Mind you, I pity people who have faith in me. No, I'm kidding. Pay into a pension scheme regularly, even earlier in life. That isn't something I thought about. Fortunately, my husband did.
Lucky you.
I know. If things aren't working out, make a change. Now, this is an enigma because if things aren't working out, make a change. But in which direction, how, when, and where, that's another one. Don't let opportunities pass you by. This is a good one. How would you feel about that, Thomas?
Well, I think it's all retrospective, and basically what we're talking about is passing on wisdoms to ourselves. We don't know the opportunities exist until they're passed us by later on in life, I guess, because you have to make that mistake. So it's really good in hindsight, and all of the ideas are great, but it's like, I think they should be called 50 Shades of Wisdom.
Oh, that's good.
But I still go on, read them. Sorry.
Well, hindsight, they say, is 2020.
2020, yeah. 2024.
Don't let opportunities pass you by. Look after your physical health more. Now, that's something I've always lived by, I have to say. And you, isn't it, Thomas?
Absolutely.
When did you start getting really conscious of all that?
Probably the age of between 11 and 12.
Yeah, that's about where I was.
Yeah.
Very, very aware of all these things. Save 10% of your wages every month. That is a good one.
Only 10%?
You say you.
Wow, you know some big spenders, eh? Good God.
Yeah, okay. You 99 is what you save, right?
Exactly. That's my pension pot. They're right there.
Okay, learn from your mistakes. I have to say, growing up, I really didn't learn easily from my mistakes. I had to keep falling before I realized, my shoes were the wrong size.
All right. And you were both left feet.
That's it. That is exactly what it is. Go on holidays, as many as you can. Now, that I can honestly say is a good one. It's become more popular, obviously, now. When we were growing up, you had the annual holiday with your family and that was it. But now people are, they're always on holiday. Work from home, I believe, is also on holiday. So they say.
It's the new holiday anyway.
Tell your friends.
Staycation.
That's it. Tell your friends and family you love them often. I love you.
Oh, yeah, that's very important.
Yes. Oh, I love you, Thomas.
Yeah. Liar.
Okay, lie to your friends. No,
yeah.
that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Be yourself, don't be a sheep. Yeah, well, this is something actually you said to me the other day is that, don't try and follow everyone because you feel that's what they expect of you. Dare to be different is what my sister used to say. don't be afraid to speak up and share your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, in school I used to do that a lot, and then I found out what the word detention was. Eat a healthy, balanced diet. This is very important for teenagers, don't you think? Because that's a time in your life when you do start yo-yoing a bit.
Well, I think you transition, don't you? Transition from a kid to maturity to an adult, and then you're going from, I guess, that midway life. You're going as you get older. I think it's imperative as well to eat properly because you're getting frailer, your body's getting weaker, and you do need obviously a lot of nutrients, a lot of nutrition, a well balanced diet. So I think that throughout your life you need it, but I think there's probably more times. It's probably more specific times in your life that you need it as you're growing up, obviously adolescent.
Well, Thomas, you've helped me a lot with my physical fitness and all the rest of it, and always with diets and all the rest of it. And you do know that I'm very prone to not eating a lot at times and things like that. So there are people like me. If you had to give them advice, what would you say?
Well, I definitely take advice of people who've been there and done it. That's what I would say. Yeah. Don't think you know it all because you don't.
It's a funny thing you should say that.
Anyone who thinks they know it all haven't lived.
Yeah, when I was around in my late teens, I think it was, I was going through this phase where now they call it intermittent fasting. I used to call it starving. I'd starve all day and then eat a meal at night. And I was training in tennis. As you know, I used to play tennis, and I would be training 4 and 5 hours a day and studying and all the rest of it, and starve myself. And whenever people told me, eat a little, but eat something, you get ulcers, you'll get this, you'll get that. And I used to say, oh, what do they know? Just because they have no self-control. And they're trying to make me eat. And this is something all teenagers get quite rebellious about. My friend's son is going through it. What do you know, Mom? Just because you can't stop eating. And that's a tough one. So you have to take on board with yourself and your kids.
Of course.
Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's another one. Listen to your gut instinct. And I don't mean your gut here. I'm talking about listen to your
intuition.
Your intuition. And something warns you about someone or something. Listen. Look after your mental health better. This is a big one. Spend more time with your parents and grandparents. Yeah, I wish I'd done that. See, hindsight 2020. Try and live in the moment. Now, this is used a lot, and I don't know if I actually do what everyone talks about, which is recently everyone talks about living in the moment, don't they? Mm-hmm. But it's not easy.
Well, no, of course not. Well, that's the famous book called The Power of Now.
Yeah. Yes, you gave that to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do it, and it takes a lot of practice and perseverance to do that. Actually, and it does work. It's very effective. You can actually do that, but it's not easy, no doubt about it. So yeah, if anyone's interested in living in the moment, check out a book called The Power of Now. It's very good.
It's a very, very good. Right. Where was I? Yeah. Invest in property as early as you can. Relax and enjoy the ride. Have a good skincare regime early in life. Oh my goodness. Mine was baby oil and soap and water on my face. Fortunately, I have good genes, huh?
Yeah.
Worry less about the future. Resolve arguments quickly, because you never know when the last time you might see somebody. Maybe. This is very true. Don't keep things in you and keep going with anxiety, anger, and holding things against people. That's not good at all. Eat more foods that are good for you. Never feel it's too late to change your career. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yep. I started mine at 50 or 55. So.
Exactly. Which it proves it's never too late.
It's never too late. Celebrate the little wins. That's a nice one too. Appreciate your own children more when they're tiny. Take better care in the sun.
Ooh, that's one I know about.
Yeah, you've had a few problems. I met a young lady today from Ireland, from Kinsale, Ireland, and she was telling me she'd had a problem. Her sister's going through an operation for skin problems, and her brother had a problem. So obviously, if you have sensitive skin. Anyway, you need to look after your skin in the sun, but
Exactly.
otherwise just be more vigilant. Don't get tempted to look good in a...
Well, if anyone thinks that they don't need to wear sun factor during the summer, I was told by my consultant I have to wear it during the winter.
Well, that's it. It's, it's not... you have to protect your skin one
all
way.
year
Now, I
round.
used to think being Asian, my skin had this amazing inbuilt sun factor thing going on, but it's not true because, you start getting things like sun blemishes and so on, and eventually it doesn't mean Asians never get skin cancer. So please bear that in mind in case you're like me. Dress up for yourself, not for anybody else. That is true, mind you. My sense of dress sometimes can be a bit OTT, but never mind. Be more independent. Now, that's something Thomas Maher can teach people because he's very independent and...
Well, I tried to be, and I tried to... That's right, it's good advice. You've got to try and be independent.
Well, I have to say, whatever you've ever sent me articles about, I always see that you're implementing a lot of things. It may not be all at one time. It may not be successfully implemented. I'm not saying it is. It is in bits and pieces, but the fact that you're trying... That's
the important thing, trying.
It's very important because don't just keep on reading these things or listening to these podcasts and then just keep writing on in the same old way you used to, because there is a benefit to all this stuff. So please take it on board.
Absolutely. No one person can achieve everything in their life, but you can achieve some of the things you try. That's success.
Take more photos. I don't think we need to tell people that anymore.
That's an interesting one. Oh, yeah, exactly. I think maybe take less photos.
Take more photos. Use less filters.
Yeah.
And more filters in your sunblock. How's that?
Put a question mark over that one.
Yeah, I think I have to. Spend more time with your friends. Yeah, that's a good one. Consume treat foods and drinks in moderation. Like, this is a tough one in this day and age because, everything is fast food, fast culture, fast.
And everything is available. It's thrown into our face. It's 24/7.
But then, on the other hand, bear in mind, everything good for you is also available. You just have to look for the right place.
It's a choice.
Yeah, make the right choice. Seek medical and professional advice if something is concerning you. Yeah, don't overlook that blemish on your skin or that lump on your chest or whatever. Please do not overlook things and leave it till it's too late. I have...
Absolutely.
Honestly, as a person who's gone through life, and I feel, I've lived quite a long time, and I do believe I could have done a lot more when it was easier rather than later. Learn more about female health so you can better understand your body. Leave your eyebrows alone. Do not overpluck them. Prioritize friends over romantic partners. They'll be around a lot longer. I definitely know that, and sure, right? Be disciplined with your time. Don't get rid of any clothes because they'll most likely come back into fashion. That's for sure. Don't settle
like some of your old friends.
Don't settle down with a partner too early. Forget FOMO. You don't have to go to everything. It has to be a secret. It's probably not a good idea. Set yourself physical challenges. That's a good one.
Good.
Take vitamin supplements. Oh, no. To support your diet and health needs. Oh, no. He loves his vitamins. He does.
I do.
Yeah. Read better books. That's something I need to do.
You hate books?
I hate reading, yes, but I'm getting
and
there.
Here you are.
Absolutely. Ask for more pay rises or a promotion.
I think I will.
Oops. Don't be afraid of rejection when asking someone out.
Wow. You used to call me the machine gun when I was younger.
Why?
Because every time I asked a girl, I got shot down.
My dad once told me never turn down a person when he asks you to dance because it takes a lot of courage to ask a girl to dance. And so when I went to his golf club dinners, the average age for people 50 years older than me.
Oh my good Lord. How many frogs did you kiss?
Oh, I've kissed a lot of frogs.
Okay.
Yeah. Still waiting for the prince now. I'm kidding.
It should be called Indira's box, not Pandora's.
Oh, well. That was an interesting
That was very interesting. So I'm going to title that, actually, after listening to that, some very interesting advice there. I wouldn't even call it advice, it's just obviously people in retrospective thinking what to say to their younger selves. I'm going to call that 50 Shades of Wisdom.
Oh, that is good. I think so, yeah.
I think so. I think there's a lot of good stuff there, and obviously take from it what you want. And
50 things to look back upon.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Indiraa. That was a very good one.
Oh, thank you.
I have pulled up another one, and this one is very interesting, which is a very recent article as well. And this article actually is a new study shows dancing is best exercise to combat depression. Can you believe that?
I believe that.
I love dancing, and every time I dance, it makes me happy. I have to say that honestly. And my dad was an All-Ireland champion in Ireland, ballroom dancing, and he was very, very happy when he was dancing. So
your dad is a very good dancer.
Yeah, he's a very good dancer. Yeah. So Annie, let me carry on with this. Okay, so a new study indicates that dancing is one of the best forms of treatment from depression. Australian researchers have published a study that shows that the best form of exercise to treat depression is dancing, beating out several exercises including walking or jogging and yoga, tai chi, strength training, among others. The study aimed to identify what kind of exercise would be best for treating major depressive disorder, either in tandem or compared to prescription of psychotherapy and antidepressants. Through 218 different studies, that's a lot, with 14,170 participants, the researchers found that moderate reductions were made across the board with exercise, more so than simply prescribing participants with selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, or cognitive behavioural therapy, CBT. That is interesting. Dancing stood at the top of the data charts. Wow. In terms of the largest reductions in depression symptoms, while exercise like walking or jogging, yoga and aerobic exercise with therapy were runners-up. In different demographics, the effects of exercise and standard treatment differed. In women, strength and cycling appeared to reduce more symptoms. However, men were more affected by yoga, tai chi and aerobic exercise along psychotherapy. Older participants experienced symptom reductions when prescribed yoga and aerobic exercise alongside psychotherapy, while younger participants were more affected by strength training. However, dance overall was the form of exercise that consistently improved the symptoms of those with depression. Wow.
When you've got two left feet, what do you do?
Well, you just dance like you could pretend you're a duck, Daffy. The study has begun to make its rounds online, with some finding it beautiful that dancing could be so effective and powerful. Science and author Eric Hoel posted one of the study's data charts on X, formerly known as Twitter, writing that the study's conclusion hid one of the most interesting discoveries. So what did he discover? They buried the lead on this new study, he wrote. It's not that exercise beats out SSRIs for depression treatment, but that just dancing has the largest effect of any treatment for depression. That's kind of beautiful. It's fascinating that something as simple as dancing can hold such power over our mental health, one person added below the post. Makes you wonder how many other traditional forms of healing we overlook in modern medicine. That is true.
That's true, definitely.
That is very, very true. Psych Central says that the mere act of dancing can lead to benefits such as increased neurotransmitter activity in your brain, as well as improved self-esteem and enhanced mindfulness. They cited past studies that also found that dancing can take those with depression out of their heads, away from rumination and distressing, cynical thoughts, and ground them in the present. Which we're talking about the present, the power of now.
Absolutely.
The endorphins and the social connection that often arise from dancing also led to generally improved moods. So there you go, this is a social factor, right?
Yeah.
Huge. Dancing can reportedly act as a form of somatic therapy, a kind of therapy that relies on bodily movement for emotional release. Whether it's dancing alone in your room to your favourite song or on the dance floor surrounded by friends and strangers alike, it turns out dancing be a lot more powerful than we've come to believe.
That's something I absolutely did not know.
It's a fascinating article. I really think that's a wonderful article because I know from my own experience, I love dancing. You know, every time I go, I dance. I love it.
You're a very good dancer, actually.
Thank you. I got the moves like Jagger.
Of course you do, yeah.
But no, seriously, on a serious note, I do find dancing very, very therapeutic for mental health. And
No,
this article resonates with me.
I never knew it was good for mental health. It's something, we learn something new every day, really do.
I think it's because it's got that huge social aspect to it. And I think that's very important. Not only because, you can get treatment, you can do things indoors and stuff like that. But actually the fact that people are going out, meeting other people in the social environment, I think that's huge.
So remember, go line dancing, not online dancing.
Yes. So Indiraa, have you got another article for us?
Yes, I do. Let me see if I can pull this up. Oh yes. Here's an interesting one. Playing an instrument is good for the brain.
Wow.
Brain health in later life. Playing musical instrument or singing could help you keep your brain healthy in older age. Researchers suggest. Practicing and reading music may help you sustain a good memory and the ability to solve complex tasks. Their study says. In a report published in the International Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry, they say music could be considered a part of lifestyle approach to maintain the brain. More than 1,100 people over the age of 40, with the mean age of 68, were studied. Scientists at the University of Exeter observed their main brain function data as part of a wider study, and it has been a finding out how brains age and why people develop dementia. This is a topic going around a lot, the dementia. They look at the effects of playing an instrument, singing, reading, and listening to music and musical ability. The researchers compared the cognitive data of those in the study who engaged in music in some way in their lives with those who never had. Their results showed that people who played musical instruments benefited the most, which may be a cause of the multiple cognitive demands of the activity. Playing the piano or the keyboards appeared to be particularly beneficial, while brass and woodwind instruments were good too. Simply listening to music did not appear to help cognitive health. I can understand that. But the benefits seen with singing might be partly because of the known social aspects of being in a choir or a group, the researchers say. Because we have such a sensitive brain, tests for the study, we are able to look at the individual aspects of the brain function, such as short-term memory, long-term memory, and problem solving, and how engaging music affects that. Lead author Professor Anne Corbett told the BBC. Certainly, this confirms on a much larger scale that we already know the benefits of music, especially playing an instrument has particularly big effect on people who continue to play into the old age. So an additional benefit, she said. Public health message in the study, people who read music regularly had better numerical memory. Professor Corbett said, our brain is like a muscle, like everything else, it needs to be exercised. That's a good comparison, actually.
Absolutely.
And learning to read music is a bit like learning a new language. It's challenging. Researchers did not test potential benefits of taking up a musical hobby for the first time later in life, but Professor Corbett said she believed, based on current evidence, it would be very beneficial. Professor Corbett said that although more research was needed, promoting musical education would form a valuable part of public health message and would encourage older adults to return to music in latter life. The message in around how people can proactively reduce their risk of cognitive decline or dementia and really thinking about engaging with music as a way of doing that. The study does suggest that it would be a part of a much wider lifestyle approach to improving your brain health as you age. However, she said, it would be naive to think that taking up a musical instrument would mean you won't get dementia, or it's as simple as that. Dementia UK says the results were positive. The ability to make or play music, whether by singing or playing an instrument, can continue even when people living with dementia have lost their abilities and means of communication, the charity's Caroline Skates said. If you know someone living with dementia who enjoys or has enjoyed singing or playing an instrument, it can be beneficial to keep these instruments or sheet music to hand for them to play or read. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Stuart Douglas, 78, has played the accordion regularly since the age of 8. He said it kept his brain active and it helps others too. We regularly play at memory cafes. Memory cafes? So I've seen effect of music has on people with memory loss. As older musicians ourselves, we have no doubt that continuing with music into older age has played an important role in keeping our brains healthy. This study has been supported by the National Institute of Health and Care Research. So there you go. And talking of which, it is true. We're both musicians, and I do find that one of my biggest challenges was sight reading music.
Oh, I never bothered with that.
That's obviously one of the most important parts of it in this article.
Yeah.
I had the same problem.
I think that would cause me more anxiety at this stage.
Yeah, I actually used to have arguments because I used to say, but I can play so well by ear. Why are you forcing me to learn how to read music? I do regret it now. And I'm thinking about going back into studying a bit more in depth because...
I think sometimes if you're forced into do something, you automatically go into a defensive stance and you don't want to do it. It may not actually be the choice that you've chosen. But when you want to do something, of course, it's completely different because you've got a desire to do it and you're ready to do something. But if you're pushed in to do something or forced to do something, you're not,
exactly. But some people also have the gift of
for sure.
Of sound. The sound, like with me, I can learn anything by hearing. But I
play by ear. I've always played by ear.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I couldn't play in an orchestra because obviously you've got to read. I mean, you could turn up at a show. You're just given sheet music to play. Have not played before, and you've got to do it. Whereas I couldn't do that because I wouldn't even have known the music to begin with. But if I've given one rehearsal to do it, I could pull it off because I memorised what's the format and play by ear. So I would like to be able to do it, but I know some people can just pick up sheet music and do it so quickly. I admire people like that. I mean, it's fantastic. And it is like learning another language. There's no doubt about it.
It is, because when I first went into recording with quite a well-known musician, and he said, "What key are you singing in, and what would you like to?" And I looked at him like, that's the key, like, he looked at me, okay. I've got my work cut out with this one.
Key. That's a very interesting article though. Well, and that's where music therapy comes from, isn't it? Learning the instrument, and that's obviously a well-known moderation for treatment for depression and anxiety anyway, but obviously that study just highlights that it's just another really, really well documented study on it. So that's
we
really
need
good
to
to
sing,
know.
we need to dance, we need to play instruments, we need to find 50 ways of looking back at our lives. Wisdom.
Yeah. And if music be the
food of love,
life.
Play on.
There we go. So I've got one more article before we start to close out this session. And this is our off-topic for all our friends who love aliens and UFOs, ufology. And we know that UFOs, I still call them UFO, and now they refer to the terminology has changed. It's UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, which I think rubbish.
No, I couldn't do that.
No, that's rubbish. We're going to
we're going with UFOs.
We're going with UFO. Now this is a story I think it resonate everybody because the Pentagon have opened up an online platform where you can actually report your UFO sightings or stories.
Oh my
They're
God.
documenting everything. They're going to look at everything. That's fantastic. So they're actually pretty much admitting in some way that there is extraterrestrial life form out there because it's their way of admitting that it's out there, really.
How could you not believe it anyway? How could you not?
How could you not? Exactly. So anyway, here we go. And this is an article from a few months ago. And I will obviously, again, like I say, I'll post everything in the show notes, links at the end of the show, so you can obviously, people can go online and see it for themselves and find all this information. So the headline is, we've uncovered some things. Pentagon's UFO online reporting tool launches. So it's a tool, okay? The Pentagon has launched an online reporting tool for certain encounters with unidentified anomalous phenomena. I hate that word. Sorry, I hate
It's
that
very
strong word.
UFOs. Dislike intensely.
Formerly known as UFOs. No, not formally. We still call them UFOs. We're not changing that, okay? So we're going to refer to them always as UFOs. Presently, yes, presently. In an expansion of its effort to be more transparent about its exploration of the unknown. Transparent? US government and transparency? Well.
Oh, dear.
Here we go.
There's a contradiction in terms.
Yeah. Only current or former federal employees or those with direct knowledge of US government programs or activities related to UAP dating back to 1945 are so far eligible to use the secure form, which went live on Tuesday on the website of the Defense Department, somewhat blandly named All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO, AARO. Brilliant.
Oh,
Not
nice
like
one.
the CIA, FBI, it's AARO. It's a bit mundane, really. Yeah. Okay. An option for the public to submit reports is coming soon, officials say. Exciting. The move signifies that the government is slowly moving closer to fulfilling its promise of complete openness about what it knows or doesn't, about everything from strange flashes in the sky to the possibility of alien life and sightings of unusual flying craft. Oh my
goodness.
God. I'm going to be up there, big time.
What do you mean? I'm up every night with my windows open, hoping I could have something to say.
That sight. Just that one sight in our lives.
Yep.
Oh.
I would love to.
The launch of the tool follows the appointment last month of former Pentagon liaison Mark McInerney as NASA's first director of UAP research. UFO research, just get it right.
Oh dear, they're not going to listen.
And the space agencies promise to harness a worldwide army of citizen sky watchers. That's brilliant. To improve its observations and analysis of the unfamiliar. They know the truth is coming. The big disclosure is coming. We know that. The new form, AARO says on its website, is intended as an initial point of contact. Ooh, that's pretty apt for space agency looking for aliens, point of contact. It is not intended for conveying potentially sensitive or declassified information. Second-hand information about UFO or encounters, therefore, is not welcome. Ooh, it says, Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of AARO, told reporters on Tuesday that first-hand knowledge, particularly of government-involved UAP programs, definitely is and will be treated sensitively and in confidence. I think if I keep in mind to myself, this reporting mechanism that is on the website is for people who think they have first-hand knowledge of clandestine programs that the government has been hiding, he said. Clandestine. If a pilot's flying around and he sees something in the airspace and he needs to report it, that goes through operational channels and he gets grounded, of course. We all know that.
We all know that, yeah.
Conspiracy theories about the level of government involvement in and knowledge of UFO and UAP research, they've actually mentioned UFO, and programs have circulated for decades, from rumours of a secret government facility holding alien spacecraft and life forms and Area 51 in the Mojave Desert, to the fictionalization of the topic in the popular TV programs such as The X-Files. Let the truth be told. Kirkpatrick said those clinging to such beliefs are likely to be disappointed, obviously. Yeah. I currently have no evidence of any program having ever existed to do any sort of reverse engineering of any sort of extraterrestrial UAP program, he said. We do have a requirement by law to bring whistleblowers or other interviewees in who think that it does exist, and they may have information that pertains to that. And then we never hear from them again. Notably, he dangled the prospect of upcoming public dissemination of some information that had previously been kept secret. We've got a package of a lot of new material that we've got ready for release. We've uncovered some things that we are having declassified. Not just operational videos, but historical documents, he said, without giving details. He described it as educational material that will help inform the public. Well. That is interesting. Well, look, let's be honest. It's a start, isn't it?
Well, of course. I mean, my firm belief is, how could we be so so self-consumed to believe we're the only living things in those millions of galaxies. Come on. So,
And it's becoming more millions by the day.
I know, it's time. It's time.
And everything they previously believed to be impossible, now they're realizing it's possible.
Of
As
course.
Einstein said, nothing is impossible, and something is impossible until someone who knows it's not possible comes along, and suddenly it's not impossible.
Well, the ancient scriptures, ancient civilizations have talked of UFOs and aliens from time began.
That's
so there you
right.
go.
When we are not alone. We are not alone. And this is going to be our off-topic for a once weekly show. We're going to be doing 2 shows a week, releasing on a Wednesday and on a Sunday. We'll do one off-topic of UFOs, not UAPs. Don't ever
Don't
talk
say
about
that.
UFOs.
No, we just call them UFOs.
No, it's UFOs. So something I want to talk about, which is very important before we close out the show, which is the forthcoming launch of Mad 2024, which is an 8-track compilation album of various artists, some covers and some original material, all in one album. It's a very, very exciting album.
Very.
Which I put together myself in studio. Of course, everyone doesn't know my background. I'm obviously a music producer and work in mental health. So that's I'm behind the album itself. But it's a very exciting album. It's just gone into distribution, and the official release date is Sunday, March 31st, 2024. And it's got some fantastic songs on there. I have to say, it's really, really great album.
It's very exciting.
It's very exciting. It's uplifting. It's energizing. It's epic. It's inspirational.
Absolutely.
It's music. It's music that hits hard or strikes hard, and you feel no pain.
That is a great line.
That is it. Now there's 8 songs on the album, and when it gets released, we're going to be talking to some of the contributors, some of the artists that were on the album over the coming weeks, and get them maybe into studio or get them online remotely over the telephone. We'll have a quick chat with them, just talk to them about their input and their general journey in musical careers. And of course, anyone and everyone who's associated with whatever we do has either suffered from depression or anxiety themselves, or know somebody who has. So it resonates with everybody. And that's the reason why we do these things, because music is very important, as you just heard in one of the articles that was recited by Indiraa. So I'm going to play you one of the tracks that I've written myself. It's called Master I Am. It was first recorded in 2007 or 8. And it became actually the theme tune for the Snooker's Master Tournament by the BBC. So the song got quite a bit of success. But we later recorded it again, and we done a video in Camden, which is really, really good, which will be on Spotify, the video also, because it's a really cool video. But the re-recording of this track is wonderful track, and it's one that really resonates with me. And it's called Master.
Great one.
It's called Master I Am, and it's about empowering yourself, giving yourself that power, that control, that independence that we spoke about earlier, to take control of your life and actually achieve things and not be dragged down into the mire hole, the black hole, which is depression. There is a way out. There's always a way out. You just got to find it. So here's one of the tracks from the album that I wrote myself. I'm not singing on it. It's the singer is from our band called Emerald back in the day. His name is Yvonne Silva, fantastic vocalist. So here we go. Here's one of the tracks off the album. Wow.
Wow, that is amazing.
I still really enjoy listening to that song. I love it.
Great
that
voice.
That is definitely an empowering song. 100%. I'd like to say, everybody, that this album is going to be coming out. Official release is on Sunday, March 31st, 2024. It's on the Easter Bank Holiday weekend. And actually, we are having an official launch party in the Ye Old Mitre pub in Barnet on the Sunday to celebrate the launch of that album. So we're going to have a lot of people down.
I'll be there.
Yeah, and you'll be there. People with some artists who've featured on the album coming on to do guest appearances with the live band. It's going to be a fantastic day. So if anybody wants to come down, be part of the we're calling it a festivity, and please do so. It's the Ye Old Mitre. It's the pub in Barnet High Street, and I'll include the link to that venue in the show notes at the end. So please do come along. Everyone's welcome. So that brings us to the end of our inaugural Mad Pod podcast. And I have to say, I have really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure talking to everybody who's listening to us, and I hope we've given you some of a useful information, some useful tips, and we've inspired you in some way. If not, well, guns are outlawed in this country, so we have to find something else to shoot us with or to do us damage. Anyway, sorry.
No, just wait for next time then.
Wait for next time, yeah. Let us go on a little bit longer before you decide to do anything hasty. So, well, folks, on that note, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have, and we look forward to bringing you more of the latest news and hot topics surrounding mental health on our next show. Remember, new episodes of the Mad Podcast drop every Wednesday and Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Episodes are available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, the Musicians Against Depression website, an online toolbox that contains a wealth of information, essential reading, and links relating to mental health. As always, if you or someone you know would like to join the conversation, either in studio or remotely, email us at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com or visit the MAD website at www.musiciansagainstdepression.uk for further info. All links, including social media, are provided in the show notes. And remember, no problem in life is insurmountable, and help is just a conversation away. Until the next time, from myself and the wonderful Indiraa,
Take care.